Welcome to the 2021 Investment in Character Presenter Training. I'm Jennifer Echeverria, the Development Director here at Twin Valley Council, and I'm going to be walking you through this year's program and talking about some of the changes we've made, as well as some common do's and don'ts when presenting to units. First of all, I know a lot of you are wondering about the term investment in character, as it's probably new to most of you, especially if you've been in scouting for a while. Investment in Character is our new rebranding of the Friends of Scouting campaign that we've held annually in the past. We're doing this rebranding because we feel that investment in character better describes what we're trying to accomplish with this campaign. When we ask parents and families to donate to Friends of Scouting, we're actually asking them to invest in their child's character development, because that's really what Scouting does. You'll notice in the script you've been provided that we only use the term Friends of Scouting once, and then always refer to it as investment in character. This is a conscious effort to change the narrative around this campaign and hopefully provide parents with a better feeling and understanding of why it's important to donate. In order to have a successful campaign, it's essential that our unit leaders and presenters also understand how vitally important investment in character is to the success of our council, and by extension, our units. These funds are a large portion of our council's operating budget. They allow units to have dedicated staff support, leader training opportunities, all the programming the kids have come to love and expect. Most of this is paid for by investment in character donations. We're going to go into a little bit more detail on this a little later in the training, but ultimately, scouting in our area would not look like what it does today without investment in character donations. Before we dig into the actual script and talk about that, I want to highlight our incentive program for this year. It's different than what you're used to, and we're hoping the families and units will like this better than what we've done in the past. There are two separate incentive programs, one for the family and one for the unit. For the families, we're giving away a free weekend at either Cuyuna Family Camp, Camp Northland, or Camp Cedar Point. If a family makes a single donation up to $150, or enrolls in FOS 360 for any amount up to $12.50 per month, and that amount is $150 split into 12 monthly payments, they will receive one entry into the drawing. For donations between $151 and $250, or FOS enrollment between $13 and $21, they'll receive two entries. Donations over $250, or FOS 360 enrollment between $22 and $29 per month, will get three entries. And any FOS 360 enrollment of at least $30 per month will receive four entries. If you're unfamiliar with FOS 360, I'm going to go over that on the next slide, so don't worry. We are giving away one weekend per neighborhood, so families have a decent chance to win and aren't competing against the entire council. The free weekend can be used between June 1st and October 1st of this year, or March 1st to October 1st of next year. Moving on to the unit incentive, we are giving away a free camping weekend for the unit at either Camp Northland or Camp Cedar Point during the same time frame, June to October of this year or March to October of next year. Again, this is per neighborhood. In order to get into the drawing, units need to have at least 50% of their rechartered membership making any donation. Amounts don't matter. It could be $5, it could be $500. As long as 50% of the membership makes a donation, they will get an entry into the drawing. If a unit has 75% of membership making a donation, they get two entries. And if 100% of their membership makes a donation, they will get three entries. So it's pretty easy to get into the drawing and everyone has a really good shot. For those not familiar with FOS 360, it is our monthly automatic giving program. The way it works is you specify whatever amount you want us to take out each month, and then we will charge your credit card every month until you tell us to stop. The pledge card does have suggested amounts listed to make it easy for people. However, there is also an other amount option, and you can choose whichever amount you want. It's a really easy way to break up a larger donation into manageable amounts. Families may balk at the idea of giving $150 at once, but $150 is only $12.50 per month, which is a lot easier to work into the budget. Likewise, $30 per month is $360 a year. Those monthly donations make it so much easier for a lot of people, which is why we really push FOS 360 enrollment. As I mentioned earlier, there is a place on the pledge card to enroll in FOS 360. However, they can also go online to Scouting Gives and enroll that way if they are more comfortable doing that. The information packet for parents will contain a QR code, which will take them directly to the donation page, along with an actual website they can enter if needed into a browser. If someone opts to sign up or donate on Scouting Gives, this is what it's going to look like. It's very simple and straightforward: name and address, billing information, and payment information. Again, there will be a QR code for parents to scan to take them directly to this page, as well as the direct link for those who want to type it into a browser. Additionally, there is a button on our council's website on the main page that says Donate to Investment in Character, and that will also take them to this page. There is an option to choose a one-time, monthly, quarterly, or whatever they want and make an amount. Okay, so now we're going to go through the script you've been provided. You can use this script in a couple of ways. Feel free to use it word for word if you're more comfortable doing that, or you can use it as a guideline for what to say. It's totally up to you. You're going to start your presentation with a welcome and introduction to the parents. Most of them probably know who you are, especially if you're the unit leader, but some may not. Make sure you thank them for being there. Something we want to avoid: try not to get up there and say, okay, everyone, it's time for FOS. You all know what that means, or something to that effect. That puts an immediate negative spin on the entire thing and sets the tone right away. We don't want that. Make sure to keep it positive, even if you know that people don't want to be there. Your energy will set the tone. After you welcome everyone, you're going to show the Eagle video that you've been provided. This video features our current council president, Jeremy Gall, as well as a few of our council's Eagle Scouts and current Scouts. It's a way to show parents what qualities they have to look forward to in their children if they continue in the program. It shows them what's possible and how successful our children can be thanks to Scouting. After the video, you're going to move on to talking about the importance of investment in character. This is going to be the most important part of the presentation, where you really get them involved. This is where you want to have access to a whiteboard or chalkboard or an easel with butcher paper, something you can write on that they can see. If you're on Zoom, maybe you open up a blank Word document and share your screen and type on it as you talk to the parents. This part of the presentation should be a conversation between you and the parents. This is not a lecture, it's back and forth communication. Ask your parents what kind of qualities they want to see in their children as they grow into adults. You're going to get answers like be kind to others and give back to the community. Maybe something like being fiscally responsible or civically minded. Write these things down in one column. If you have parents who aren't engaging, call on them specifically. Hey, Jim, what's something you would want to see in little Billy as an adult? Something like that. Get them personally involved in the conversation. This is really important. After you get several things written down, next to that, in another column, write down the points of the Scout Law: trustworthy, loyal, helpful, and so on. Draw lines to connect what the parents have said to a point on the Scout Law. I guarantee a lot of them are going to be very similar. If a parent said something like giving back, you can draw a line to helpful. If they said a kind and honest person, draw lines to kind, trustworthy, etc. You can connect more than one point to what they've said if it applies to multiple ones. You get the idea. Help the parents to see that the qualities they want in their children are directly related to Scouting. Make it personal. We also want to bring up the fact that we don't blink at the idea of investing in things like hockey lessons or ballet or gymnastics, music, or anything else we want to encourage in our kids. So why wouldn't we also want to invest in a program that encourages the qualities we think make a good adult? This is the part of the presentation where we're going to touch on the nitty-gritty of what it really costs to provide Scouting in our area. This is a topic that isn't really talked about too much, but it really should be. Your script breaks it down for you, but ultimately it costs approximately $1,000 per scout to offer scouting in our area. Half of that comes from popcorn, camping and activity fees, scout shop sales, investment earnings, and the United Way. But we still have about $500 per scout that must come from special events, foundations, and the Investment in Character campaign. When you're talking about this, make sure you highlight the fact that all registration fees that are paid when you sign up or you recharter goes to the National Council. Our council doesn't keep any of that. It does not help us pay for the program. Likewise, any dues that are paid directly to the unit stay with the unit and doesn't help our council to provide any programming or other benefits. Use language that emphasizes the fact that our council is just that, our council. It should not be a unit versus council, us versus them mentality. We need to really promote the concept that our council is made up of our people, our volunteers, our units, and our kids. It is here to support us. After talking about the true cost of scouting, it's time to move on to the incentive program for families and adults that I explained earlier in the training. I would focus more on explaining the unit incentive since it's quick and straightforward, and tell them to look in their packets for a full explanation of the family incentive. Obviously, if anyone has a question about it, please take the time to explain, but we don't want to bore everyone with all the numbers and amounts when they can just read it for themselves. Pledge cards and questions. At this point, you're going to ask them to fill out their pledge card right then and there. Even if they don't want to make a donation, ask them to put a 0 in the amount section of the pledge card and still fill out their name and information. This lets the council volunteers and staff know that they have made a decision regarding donating, and then they won't get a phone call. If we don't receive a filled out pledge card back from them, they will get a phone call or follow-up contact regarding donating. So if they don't want a phone call, they need to fill it out and put a 0. If someone says they don't want to donate, reiterate that even $5 or $10 helps and will earn them an entry into the drawing, as well as helping their unit qualify for the drawing. Be understanding above all, though, since we all know it's been a difficult year for a lot of people. Give everyone 5 minutes or so to fill out their cards and ask any questions they may have, and then have a couple of scouts walk around and collect them for you. Quickly before we go, here is a list of the items you'll need to give your presentation. This list is geared toward giving the presentation in person, which I highly recommend if it's at all possible for your unit. The message is better received in person than via Zoom. However, if you do need to do it over Zoom, that's fine. You'll just need to adjust it a little to make it work online. If you're giving it online, I would encourage families to log on to Scouting Gives and donate right then, rather than filling out a pledge card and mailing it in. If a family member does not want to donate online, have them let you know in the chat function on Zoom, and then you can let council know and we will mail them a pledge card. If you're going to do your presentation on Zoom or other online platform, please let us know so we can provide you with a digital form of the QR code and a link to Scouting Gives that you can share with everyone. I hope this training was informative for you and you're all excited about investment in character. If you have any questions at all about anything, please feel free to call or email me. I am happy to help with anything you need. Thanks.